Hi, I'm Jamie Eason and I'm in the Bodybuilding.com kitchen today to show you how I make my turkey meatloaf muffins. You're going to need a large bowl for this because we've got a lot to mix up. Okay, but the nice thing is it's just one big bowl for everything. Okay, the first ingredient we're going to need is a cup of quick cooking oats. So we're going to dump those in. And then you've got all these ingredients that we're going to mix in with it. We've got 2 tablespoons of garlic. Now you can either use the powdered version or you can use the minced version. I'll show you what, I've got it over here. Here's the minced garlic. Now this one seems to be okay. If you read the ingredients, it says garlic water, it says phosphoric acid, and no preservatives. So this one's okay. You could probably use this as an option. But some of them, be really careful, read the label. They actually have oil in them. It won't be real prominent, it won't say it on the top, so you gotta really check out those ingredients. This one's actually rare to be just in water, so that's an option too, but we're gonna use the powder because it's just as good that way. Okay, then we've got 1 teaspoon salt. We've got 2 teaspoons of pepper, black pepper. We've also got 2 teaspoons of a dry mustard, just dry yellow mustard. And sometimes if you're looking for dry yellow mustard, some people will not be able to find it in your standard like jar, kind of like this one. You'll have to find it in sort of a box. It looks a little bit more like the pepper, but it's in a darker box. So I've noticed that it's hard to find sometimes, and that's why. And then we've got 1 teaspoon of, I'm sorry, that's a half teaspoon of cumin. Cumin is a really smoky spice. It's really good for you. A lot of these spices are antioxidants, so they're really good for you. If you're not using a lot of spices in your food, you should start doing so. And then we also have a half teaspoon of thyme. So thyme is used a lot in poultry dishes, whether you're making chicken, turkey, or anything. So, and then our last ingredient is the one that makes the whole dish. So this is not the easiest to find, so this might take you a little while, but it's very well worth it. This is 2 teaspoons of a chipotle pepper seasoning. Here's, let's see if I can find it. Here's what it looks like, so hopefully you'll be able to find that. It does add some heat, so be careful if you're not big on hot things, then maybe only add 1.5 teaspoons or something like that. But I really think without it, they're a little more bland, so you definitely want the heat in there. So that's it. So I'm just gonna use my fingers and kind of get it all incorporated and mixed up. This whole recipe is pretty much about using your hands, so. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, and before I really get messy, I'm gonna take this off. So put that to the side. All right, the next thing we're gonna need is going to be chopped onions and chopped celery. Now this is pretty convenient because it just comes in the package in your produce section. I'm all about quick and easy, so this is what I'm gonna do. I hate chopping onions, so we'll open that up. And if you were to chop it, you're gonna wanna do a cup of everything, so quite a bit. You know, you really can't overdo the vegetables, and if you're not a fan of celery, you can use red peppers, green peppers, anything you want. But celery and onion seem to work really well for this. But the more veggies you add, the more moisture there's going to be in your dish. So overdo the veggies instead of under. Okay, we'll put that to the side. All right, and then the next thing we're going to need is the meat. Grab these over here. For this recipe, you can either use extra lean ground turkey or you can use extra lean ground chicken breast. Either one will work really well, and actually even beef will work too, so. Cut that open. Dump it in, and I'm using probably, I would say this is about, probably about 2 pounds of meat. Dump that in, and it doesn't have to be exact. That's the great thing about this recipe, is you kind of do it all to taste, and you just dump it all in and see what you get. So, and then the next thing we're gonna need to add some moisture is gonna be 3 egg whites. If you're not concerned about adding any added fat, you can actually do a whole egg in there, but for this purpose, we're gonna just use the egg whites. one. Egg number 2. And egg number 3. Now before I really get my hands in there and get dirty, I'm going to make sure first that I have my muffin pan prepped. And I've already set the oven to 375 degrees, so make sure you preheat it and that it's ready to go before you put them in. Rinse my hands off. All right, so we're gonna prep this because I don't wanna have to stop in the middle with goopy fingers and do it. So I'm gonna use my canola oil or olive oil spray. And this is 12 muffin tins. It should make about 12. Sometimes it goes a little over. It just depends on how big or small you make them. Okay, and you want to spray them pretty good just to make sure they don't stick. And to save my pan, because I hate when they get gross, I always wipe the excess off the top because they will get pretty grody. If you start making these a lot, which is what I do, because I always have these on hand and in my refrigerator just ready to go, you can actually keep this recipe completely frozen in your freezer and just take them out one at a time and microwave them if you want. Let's see. All right, so that's ready to go. I'm gonna set that to the side, bring this back and get busy. So, take any jewelry off. This is freaking cold. So, all right, it's starting to look pretty grody, which is exactly what we want. And you don't want to overmix meat too much. You do want to make sure you get all the spices incorporated and lift it up and get all that stuff out of there. If you overmix meat though, it tends to get a little more tough, so don't go crazy. Just get it all in there. Now the nice thing about this dish too is that the muffin tins are what keep it in its serving size. So it's all nice and portable that way, and it's got your carb and your protein all mixed in one. Now it is a low amount of carbs, so you could still eat them in a pita. You could add a few rice cakes or something to them. Every time I flip it, I'm still seeing spices, so I'm making sure. All right, don't want to overmix, so I'll stop there. All right, now we're gonna put them in our muffin tin. And I'd say you do about a racquetball size. Let's see, that might be a little larger than a racquetball size, but not too bad. We'll see how that looks. And sometimes you'll get all the way through and have to steal a little from the other one to kind of make them even out. There we go. And they don't have to be perfect, but another thing is that the fact that they're in a muffin tin, this is essentially just a meatloaf. The difference is most meatloafs have like a ketchup base kind of in them, that you, whether it's ketchup or tomato sauce or something inside of them. We've kind of left that out and just put the eggs and a lot of veggies in there. So they're not quite as moist. You can, if you want to, you can actually do what I call a thumbprint, push it down in the middle and put like a ketchup or a barbecue sauce or something in them if you want to. They get a little slimy and a little bit messy to take with you, so only do that when you plan to eat them at home, I think. Okay, we're doing good. Not looking like I'm overdoing it yet. But, oh, the beauty of having them in a muffin tin, not only is that it's the right portion, but the moisture from the veggies stays confined in the little tins, so it tends to keep the meat from getting overly dry, because, you know, extra lean ground turkey has no fat really, so really kind of just gets overcooked pretty easily. There we go. Exciting stuff watching me do this, I'm sure. Okay, and it looks like I actually I can maybe make them a little bit bigger, so I'll make the last one and then we'll add a little bit to a few of them. Now, if you were to cook these and measure them out, they would usually be about 2.5 ounces each. So that will come to, you know, a pretty good serving size. Like a male might eat maybe 3 or 4 of these, where a female would only eat 2, would be her serving. And each one of these, depending on how large you make it, is going to be like about 78 to 80 calories, or maybe a little more if you do too large of ones. Like these might be more like 80 because I'm making them pretty big. I think those packages, I didn't check the exact weight of them, may have been a little bit more than 2 pounds. So, but that's good. I'd rather have more than less. And these are really lean, so really good for us. So that looks pretty good. Rinse it off. And so, to continue with the macros, about 80 calories, maybe like 2 grams of fat. You're looking at 4 carbs and about 11 grams of protein, and that's for 1 muffin. So you're gonna get 22 grams of protein for 2 muffins. All right, these are ready to go, looking pretty good. And stick them in the middle rack. And we want to cook these for quite a while. You never want uncooked turkey. And so depending on how hot your oven gets, I'm going to put mine at about 40, but you might have to play with that, go a little over, go a little under, and just check them as you go. All right, so we've got 40 minutes to wait, so go watch a sitcom or something and we'll come back and check them. Okay. All right, I think these are about done, so check them out. They're looking good. Let's pull them out. They smell good. There we go. We'll put down my pot holder so that I don't burn the counter. So they look pretty good. All right. Now we just need to give them time to cool. I suggest that you take them out a little bit before they're completely cool, and put them on a paper towel. I just fold it up on the counter and I put them all on there and let it allow the juices that have kind of accumulated in the bottom to get a little bit dry, so that I can put them in a Ziploc baggie, keep them in the fridge for any time that I need to grab something to go, or just looking for something good to eat. So hopefully you like the turkey meatloaf muffin, and hopefully you'll come back to Bodybuilding.com and check out more recipes with me.